Hello. In this Pause and Practice Excel 8-2, we're going to build a 1 and 2 variable data table to determine revenue, expense, and income levels for Paradise Lakes Resort. We're also going to create a forecast sheet for products sold. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go to your Revenue Worksheet tab. And we're going to create a 1 variable data table. This is it right here. So selecting cell I3, okay, so it's one value to the right and one value above the first input value. We're going to say it's going to be equal to, we want cell B15, the total expenses. We're creating a reference value. Now we're going to select cell J3 and we're going to create a reference for B17, which is net income. Now we're going to look at possible revenue levels and according to the total expenses and the net income. So we're going to select cells H3 through J14, and we're going to click the What If Analysis and Data Table. Now it's asking for our row input cell and the column input cell. Clicking on this column input cell, we're going to select cell B8. Now the total revenue amount will be replaced by the input values in column H in both formulas. Click OK, and here you can see that as our total revenue levels increase, our total expenses increase, and our total net income is simply our revenue minus our expenses. And that changes as well as the data increases. Now we're going to select cells I4 through J14 and we're going to make them accounting formatting. But we want them to have 0 decimal places. And then we can auto-fit the columns so everything fits nicely. Now we're going to create a 2 variable data table. Coming down here to cell H, okay, this is column H, and we're going to select cell H17, okay, and we're going to place a new formula 1 row above the column input values and 1 column to the left of the row values. And we're going to create a reference to net income here. Now we're going to select cells H17 all the way out to P30. We're going back to our data, our what if analysis. We're going to select data table. Our row input cell, we're going to select cell B15. And then in column input cell, we're going to select cell B8. Remember, B8 is our revenue and B15 is our total expenses. At this point, we can press OK. And so we have a 2 variable. So at various possible revenue levels and at various possible total expense levels, we're calculating what is our net income. So you can see here that if we have $100,000 in revenue and $90,000 in expenses, we make $10,000 in net income. If we come all the way out here and say we have $200,000 in revenue and $100,000 in expenses, we make $100,000 in net income. Now, we're going to format all of these cells as accounting, moving the decimal places for them. Now, we're going to edit input values for the table. We're going to select here cell I-17, and we're going to type in 75,000. You'll see that the numbers in the data table automatically adjust. We'll select cell J17 here, and we'll type in 80,000. And again, the numbers automatically adjust. Now we're going to select I-17 and J17. We're going to do an autofill to the right. And then we can see it's going to be increasing by $5,000. The data table updates, and there are fewer negative results. Okay, and when revenue and expenses are equal, there is no profit, which is shown by this hyphen here. And then just to help delineate things here, right? These are the actual numbers we're working with, and then the non-bold text is the results. We can also adjust the accounting, right? If you want to do a symbol or anything like that, if you want to use currency, if you want to delineate in red, just to highlight those numbers for a bit. So the next thing we're going to do is create a forecast worksheet. We're going to select our product 101 worksheet. And here we see the Paradise Lakes Resorts products. So this is product number 101. We're going to select cells A4 through B28. We're going to click Forecast. So back under Data, Forecast, Forecast Sheet. Right? And we want to create a line chart rather than a column chart. We're going to click Create. And here you can see the forecast sheet that's been created. We're going to name this new sheet Forecast Sheet. And then we'll remove this forecast chart to its own sheet. If I click on the chart, we can say Move Chart. We'll move to a new sheet. We're going to call this Forecast Chart. And we're going to change the chart style. We're going to select Style number 9. Now, we want to click the Chart Elements drop-down list, right, and select a horizontal category axis. So select the dates along the bottom axis. Now, this is under Chart Tools, Format, Current Selection Group. And we're going to select the horizontal category axis. Okay, Format Selection button. And then we're going to select the axis options here. And we want to expand the labels group down here. And we want to adjust this to say specific unit interval is 2 to show every other month. Now we're going to select the Chart Elements button at the top right corner of the chart. And then we're going to insert a centered overlay chart title. We're going to edit the chart title to say Forecasted Sales for Product Number 101. Clicking the chart background to get rid of that. And now we want to move this, and we'll move it down here. At this point, you can save and close the workbook. And you'll see this is the forecasted here. So this is the most likely scenario that would occur.